We'll start by cloning the repository. Next, open the project using this version of Unity. At first, the project will show compiler errors because it requires several assets from the Unity Asset Store to function properly. The required assets are DateTime Picker, a clock system that allows us to set specific hours, Calendar Scheduler UI, a calendar system for organizing meetings, File Browser Pro, a file browser and explorer, In-Game Code Editor, an editor that facilitates code input, Impl Sign-In with Google, enables easy social login and registration, iColor Picker, allows users to choose colors to customize projects and groups, Volumetric Lines, used to visualize the 3D layout, Net Checkout, handles the checkout process, Impl File Browser for WebGL, a file browser compatible with WebGL builds. To fully compile the project, we need to overwrite some scripts from the imported assets. Specifically, the scripts we need to replace are from the following assets: Calendar Scheduler UI, DateTime Picker, and UI Color Picker. Back in the Unity editor, we can see the project has no longer compiler errors. To obtain these modified scripts, please contact us and send video proof like the example shown, verifying that you have purchased the original assets. Back in the Unity editor, we must ensure that HTTP downloads are allowed and the API compatibility level is set to .NET Framework. Then, check the build platform. If it's not already set to WebGL, switch to that platform. And the preprocessor constants. We have defined two constants. One of them allows us to run the project locally as a shortcut. You can remove this constant when deploying to production. We'll create the database where the data will be stored. We'll use XAMPP as our local web server for both the database and the PHP endpoints that manage the data. Create a new database named workflowsimulator. Import the CQL file located in the project directory. Once uploaded, you should see a set of tables like these. Copy the PHP endpoints into your local servers folder to provide backend services. Create a folder named Workflow Simulator in this location and copy all the PHP files there. If we open the configuration file, we can verify that the global project settings are pointing to the correct paths. We'll copy the asset bundles to the local web server. These are required for downloading all the Office assets during the project's initial loading process. Create a folder called WebGL in this location and place all the asset bundles inside. We need to set up the endpoints that handle AI-related operations. In my case, I'm using a separate machine on my local network to run these processes. Copy the provided Python files to the appropriate directory on that machine. Then, open a terminal and connect to the machine. When you deploy the project in production, you'll run this main script, which manages concurrent user connections by creating a new process for each user to handle their operations independently. For now, we'll simply run the service that processes requests in English. Back in Unity, we can now run the project. The first step is to log in. By default, the database already contains a sample account, so you only need to click here to log in successfully. Next, we need to provide at least one API key from a large language model LLM provider. You can use a local LLM instance with Ollama or similar tools if data security is critical, but that's beyond the scope of this introduction. For now, we'll use an OpenAI API key. In this field, we also need to type the address of the machine that is going to run the Python endpoints. Once the API key is set, we can load the default Office simulation data. After the Office finishes loading, we can start the simulation. Let's perform a quick test to verify that the Python endpoints are working correctly. We'll open a chat session and ask a question. If we check the terminal, we can see the log output from the service handling the request. Now, let's speed up the simulation to trigger the first meeting. Watching the terminal, we can observe the logs for the various operations that simulate the meeting. Once the meeting concludes, a summary event will be triggered. And that's it. You're now ready to customize and create your own digital twin of your office.